Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back to another one of my awesome videos. As always, I come to you with some great information. And today, I just wanted to talk to all of those folks out there who got into the business or you're thinking about getting into the business, and one of the things you're worried about is, what if I can't get a client? What if I can't find a client? Or if I continue this way, like, what's going to happen if I can't find a client? Or why can't I find a client? And in this presentation, I just want to give you some insight and some information as to why you may be struggling with finding the client that you want. Okay. Um, and listen, this information, everything that I'm going to say to you, um, I hope it doesn't come across as offensive to anyone. But as you guys know, I'm 100% transparent, right? I don't sugarcoat anything. But one of the things that I do is I tell you the raw, honest truth. I give it to you straight and uncut every single time. And so that's what I'm going to do here. So if you feel called out, please know that I'm not calling you out. I know how it can be. If you need help with anything, please reach out to me, because I don't want you to continue struggling and not being able to find a client. So we're going to get into why you can't find a client. Okay. So let's get into it. So we're going to say this video is how to find a carrier part 2. If you've watched my first video on how to find a carrier, in that video I pretty much gave you some tips and strategies that I use to find carriers. And it sucks because as long as that video was, I really couldn't put as much information as I wanted to in there. And even with the training courses, right? I can teach you all about how to do the job. But, the other side to it is having like that business savvy aspect, which a lot of people don't have. And so that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So if you can't find a carrier, the first thing you need to know is that it's not where you're looking, right? Um, I'm pretty sure if you're looking at any of those places that I suggested before in the other videos, if you're looking there, you're looking in the right place. Okay. So don't think that's the problem. It's not where you're looking. Okay. Also, it's not because you're cold calling. Um, we receive phone calls all the time from people that we don't know, right? And um, it becomes a bit of an annoyance, but for the most part, cold calling is the best way to acquire a new customer. So trust me, it's not because you're cold calling. Um, Third, it's not because the market is saturated. You'll hear a lot of people in the industry say, "Oh, the market's so saturated." Because you see so many dispatch companies and all of this, the market's saturated. Listen to what I'm saying to you. The market is not saturated. Okay. That's the first thing that you need to know about the saturation piece. The second thing is, yes, there are a lot of dispatch companies, right? But all of them aren't doing great work. All of them aren't standing out. The top 20% that are doing well is because they understand how the business works, right? Um, the other 80% of the ones who are feeling like the market is saturated, they're just missing something, right? So it's not that. It's not that. No dispatch companies, no two dispatch companies are created alike. Okay. Some of them are, like I said, some of them aren't that good, but the good ones are doing well. Okay. Four, it's not because they aren't interested. It's not because they aren't interested in you. Trust me. It's not because they aren't interested in you. And it's not because you're choosing the wrong prospects. Trust me, it's none of these things. If you feel like these are the problems that you're having, it's not that. Those are not the problem. Okay, let's get into it. So before we do get into it, let me just, of course, introduce myself. If you are new here, if you're new to my channel, my name is Chelsea Chambers. I am an executive carrier support specialist. This is the better word of what we call freight dispatchers. Okay. I'm also a mentor, coach. I'm the creator of Dispatch Dashboard. People call me the professor of trucking, which is great. I love it. I'm going to stick with it. And then now the author of The Psychology Behind Sales. Okay. That's my new book was just released. So getting back into it. So if you are struggling with finding a client, right? Or if you feel like you're going to struggle with finding a client, the reasons why, and like I said, I don't feel called out, you guys. This might be feel like tough love, but sometimes this is what we need to hear. We need to hear this. It's because you're hesitant, right? You don't think that you're going to do well. You already are kind of submitting to your failures already. Okay. Secondly, you're nervous or you don't feel confident, and you need to get to the bottom of why you feel that way. Third, you're feeling discouraged, and you're probably feeling discouraged because you see other people who are doing great, and you feel like you aren't seeing any results right now, right? The other thing you might be struggling with is just not knowing what to say. You're not sure what to say when you are talking to people, right? And part of that is probably because you aren't really sure about what your role is in this process, right? You aren't sure about who your business is for, right? Um, it could be also because you don't want to experience the awkwardness of speaking to someone for the first time. And honestly, the only way you're going to get a client, you guys, is if you speak to somebody for the first time, right? I know it's weird, but you have to. And then the final thing is you don't know how to sell, or you never had to. So if you come from like a healthcare background, IT, if you've been a driver, right? If you've worked in warehousing, if you've worked in any type of trade where you weren't customer facing and had to sell, even if you worked in customer service but didn't work in sales, they're two different planets. Okay. They're two different planets. I mean, some of the things might be the same, but when it comes to sales, it's a lot different. It's a lot different. And so some of you are probably thinking, like, okay, is this a sales type of thing? Well, yes. I mean, how else are you going to acquire customers? Right? Have you ever heard of any type of business that doesn't market or promote their products or services? And my last question is, if you don't sell your business to anyone, who else is going to do it? Do you have a director of marketing on staff, a director of operations, a director of client relations? Do you have all that? No, you don't. So when you're first starting a business, you wear all of those hats. You're in charge of the customers facing side and the marketing side. You're going to be doing a whole lot of different things, and until you bring on people to do those things for you, guess what? It's going to be all on you. And you want it to be all on you because you're the one that's going to have to make that first impression, right? The thing is, you aren't a telemarketer or a door-to-door salesman. So one of the things that I see the most, is when a lot of people get into this business, when they get on the phones, the first thing they're doing, they're calling, they're sounding just like a telemarketer. And that's the reason why nobody's interested in talking to you, because you sound like a telemarketer. How are you going to call somebody and say, hey, yes, I just want to call you and tell you all about our services. We offer this, that, and the other. And you don't even know what they need. Imagine going to a store and they trying to sell you perfume, and when you only went in there to buy socks. And they didn't ask you what you came in here to buy, but they quick to give you some. Like, think about that for a second, right? That's why some of you aren't able to get new clients, because you're new to business, right? You're new into this type of industry, whereas though like it's a business and you have to market yourself, because it doesn't matter what type of business it is. Even if you've worked in network marketing, right? Even if you've worked in product research, whatever it is, like you literally have to know how to get through to your clients, and you aren't going to get through to them like this. That's just not going to work. So if you don't know how to sell, that is the problem. Um, the solution is learning about it, right? When it comes to the reasons why people buy things and reason why people sign up with different things, it's all psychological. And if you've never been on the opposite side of being a customer, you'll continue to struggle. So you have to switch your mind over to the other side, right? And I want to show you exactly how to do that. Now, the first thing is you have to understand what your personality is. So I'll tell you now that the people who fall into the top two categories of driver and expressive, let's look at it. And if you hear noise, guys, listen, I'm sitting out on my balcony in the sun, enjoying the breeze. So pardon me if the cars are too loud, okay? But anyway, if you are a driver personality, these are some of the traits that you have: competitive, demanding, take charge, strong-willed, purposeful, quick decisions, enjoys challenges, risk taker, confident. And on the flip side to that, sometimes they tend to be selfish, insensitive, arrogant. They have the need to be right, argumentative, obsessive, aggressive. They're critical and tenacious, right? Um, and a lot of you guys reading this probably will say, "Wow, that's me. I relate to that." Well, most of the time, we have one of these are dominant and one are non-dominant, right? And so on the expressive side, right, you're more conservative, more committed, authoritative, reliable, calm, welcoming, compassionate, intuitive, more deliberate, right? But on the other hand, more worry prone, more overly sensitive, unforgiving, judgmental, moody, jealous, suspicious, hard to please, stubborn. And so I'd say for myself, between the red and the blue, I'm probably more blue because I am more calm. I try to be more welcoming and more compassionate. But then sometimes I do get into my little competitive moments. I wouldn't say that would be one of my dominant or not non-dominant factors. I think my second dominant one would be analytical, right? So somebody who's analytical, you're practical, you're a peacemaker, you're generous, you're diplomatic, you're loyal, you're adaptable, rational, free thinking, intellectual, right? On the flip side, probably boring, materialistic, possessive, pessimist, overthinker, controlling, self-critical, high achiever, procrastinator, right? If this is probably your main category, your most dominant category, then this is people who fall into these bottom two categories, the analytical and amiable. This video is for you because most people who get into non-sales type of careers fall into these two categories. And if you're on the amiable side, green, you're more likely in healthcare. And if you're yellow, you're more likely in healthcare. And if you're on the green side, you're more likely in IT, right? And on the yellow side, you're more optimistic, communicative, you're perfectionist, persuasive, trusting, spontaneous, charismatic, insightful, energetic, right? You kind of have to be those things to work in healthcare. On the flip side to that, people with yellow personalities tend to be uncommitted, self-centered, undisciplined, vain, inconsistent, unfocused. They tend to be interrupters. They tend to be fearful and impatient. And you might see similarities between each personality type. But if you really, really want to know what your personality type is, I suggest you take the test. Take a test to find out what your personality is. All right? Because the only way you can really, really, really get to know who your customers are, is if you get to know who you are first. So do that. Figure out what your personality is, right? Like I said, if you fall into one of these bottom two categories here under analytical or amiable, you probably need to continue to watch this video. Okay. Now, the other side to this is, again, not knowing exactly what it is that you do. Okay, you've had the training, you learned all the hard skills, step by step what you're supposed to do, but maybe you aren't sure how to explain this, or maybe you aren't sure how to deliver great service that will meet your clients' expectations, right? Well, if you guys remember, last month the FMCSA released a statement where they were seeking answers to questions that they had regarding the service delivery model for freight dispatch companies. Well, you guys know me, right? I put my brain to work and I broke it down, y'all. I broke it down. So if you aren't sure of your how to deliver great service to meet your clients' expectations, right? This is the customer support service delivery model that I created. All right. It starts with marketing, then it goes into prospecting, onboarding, support, partnership, and performance. This is all that we do, 360, all in one. So when it comes to saying, are you a dispatch company? Does it look like we're a dispatch company? So this is why if you're making those cold calls and you're saying, yeah, we're a dispatch company, you need to stop. You need to change your approach. You need to really, really learn who you are, right? Learn who your business is, learn who your business is for, and understand exactly what your role is and how to deliver superb expectations, how to exceed your clients' expectations, right? And if you want to learn more about this service delivery module, it's in my ebook. But the last thing I want to say to you guys is if this is you and you are still struggling, like, you need to get over it. And I'm not saying it in a mean way, right? I'm not saying, oh, you just need to get over it. No, I'm saying in order for you to get to where you want to be, to the reason as to why you started this business, you're going to have to get over it. You're going to have to get over these fears that you have. You're going to have to get over the confusion that you're experiencing. You're going to have to get over to the other side and do it exactly what it is that you know you're capable of. Ask yourself why. Why did you start this business? Why do you want to get into this business? What was your whole point? Like, think about that. If you're at the point where you're struggling and you're like, man, I think I just better find something else to do. No, you don't need to find something else to do. You need to figure out why you wanted to get into this business in the first place. Figure out why you got into this business in the first place. And I hope it's not for the money, because if you chase the money, right, it's not going to come. Stop worrying about if the money's going to come. Because if you don't do anything to change the way that you think and to change the way that you approach your prospects and to approach how you run your business, ain't nothing going to change. You aren't going to make the money that you want to make. Stop worrying about the money, right? Just don't worry about it. So last thing I want to say to you guys is my ebook. It's an eWorkbook. So you can write in it, right? You can, it's all interactive, right? This book breaks down everything under the sun when it comes to the psychology behind selling to truckers. We all know that getting through to these truckers is not an easy thing to do. I've been at this for a long time. I've taught a lot of people, and I can tell you that just because it was easy for you doesn't mean it's going to be easy for the next person. And just because it was hard for you doesn't mean it's going to be hard for the next person. But you got to break down that psychology behind why. Why do people buy? Why do people make the decisions that they make, right? And in this book, I break it down as it relates to trucking, step by step. And like I said, you can either grab a notebook and just as you follow along the ebook, do all the work on a separate book, or you can order the hard copy, which is available now on Barnes and Noble. You can pre-order the hard copy so that you can get it delivered to you and you can actually keep it. You can write in it and you can keep this book forever. The eWorkbook, you can do the same thing. Just keep the file, right? The eWorkbook, I'm going to drop the link to both in the comments of this video, not the comments, the description of this video. I don't want y'all commenting saying, where's the link? Where's the link? The link is in the description box of this video. Okay. It's in the description box of this video. If you want me to put it on my website, I'll go put it on there now. It actually should be there, but if you guys want a copy of this ebook, go grab it now. Like I said, it's available for download right there on the website. But if you're still struggling, stop just sitting around struggling. Do something about it. You've got to get over it. And that's all I wanted to say to you guys. Once again, thanks so much for watching my video. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you like this video and drop some comments. If you have any questions about anything, please, I want to start making more videos and making more content. So drop your questions in the comments so that I can start to make more videos about it and start to put more information out there. But again, if you guys like my content, make sure you subscribe. Also, make sure you follow me on TikTok and make sure you follow me on Instagram. Well, that's it, you guys. I'm out. You have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next video.